Chapter 28. The Courage to Tell the Truth. One morning, when I was in 6th grade, I was surprised to find scribbles accompanied by ugly pictures on the walls of the classroom. The pictures showed a teacher beating students with a rod. The scribbles said, "No more exams. We want freedom. Don't beat us when we don't do well on a test." When our homeroom teacher came in, he was shocked about the graffiti and demanded, "Who did this?" Nobody said anything. Then he looked at each one of us and said, "Who did this on the walls? If you stand up and confess now, I will forgive him. If not, he will be severely punished." However, no one stood up. The teacher got even angrier and told each of us to take out a piece of paper and write down who had done it. However, no one wrote anything. Now the teacher looked at the class and everybody looked away, avoiding his eyes. Then he told us to close our eyes and raise our hands if we knew who had done it. No one moved an inch. Now the teacher seemed out of his mind with rage. Time crawled by as he occupied himself in trying to find the vandal. Even though some of us knew who had done it, we kept silent. Later, the teacher called us in one by one to ask us, but no one told the truth. Finally, when it was getting dark, he let us go home. It was the first time the whole class had been punished for a small thing. The student who did it for fun didn't have the courage to stand up and say, "I did it, please forgive me." In our lives, there are times when we really must tell the truth. In the famous story, The Emperor's New Clothes, no one had the courage to tell the king he was walking around naked. Why was the king parading around without any clothes? He was deceived by two scoundrels who had pretended to make a magnificent robe for him. His ministers, all afraid to tell him that there was no robe, praised what wasn't there. All of the citizens praised the imaginary clothes as well. As you may know, it was a small boy who finally had the courage to say, "The king is wearing nothing. The king is naked." I was envious of the boy's courage. He said what so many around him couldn't or wouldn't say. He wasn't afraid of being punished by the king. Everyone else thought it was safer to say nothing and just enjoy watching the naked king. Where would the king have been if no one had had the courage to tell him the truth? To have the courage to go against our fears and doubts of what others might think is difficult, but it is also very rewarding. The next time you are faced with a problem that calls for courage, ask yourself, what's the right thing to do, and then do it. It is the only way you'll be able to hold your head up high.